there. Thank you. It's great to be in front of this audience, and I want to, in particular, welcome the hundreds of people here with the International Leaders Forum. It's been wonderful. Oh, yes, round of applause. It's been wonderful to partner with NDI over the past few days. Today, I want to show you how a free and open internet is transforming how government connects with its citizens. Imagine a world where every democracy, regardless of how large or small, can ensure that each citizen is enabled to cast a vote. Where every citizen has access to election results in real time, and where governments and civil society can respond to disaster immediately. The internet is making this possible, and I want to suggest a few ways we can make it happen even faster. First, let's take a look at how the internet is changing. It's growing very, very fast. There are over 6 billion devices that connect people to the internet today. That's equivalent to the number of people we have on this planet. And in 4 years, that number should triple. But it isn't just about the growth of devices. It's also about the growth of information. Every minute, 72 hours of YouTube videos are uploaded. That's 12 years of new video each day. You could watch YouTube all week for the rest of your life and never get through a number of YouTube videos uploaded in the next month. And I wouldn't recommend that you do that, or attempt to. But there are also 100,000 tweets every minute, and 250,000 words published on Google's blogging platforms alone. That's equivalent to a newspaper being published every minute. These are very large numbers, and they can be intimidating, especially for governments that are typically familiar with controlling information and communication channels. The response by authoritarian governments, and unfortunately even some democratic governments, has been to filter, monitor, and censor what people read, say, and share. And it's getting worse. On this map, you'll see a few things. Oh, when it comes up. Yellow are countries where no filtering has been detected. The more red a country is, the more pervasive internet filtering is. Gray countries have yet to be studied. Almost 1/3 of internet users live in countries where the internet is heavily filtered. Censorship is not only a violation of fundamental human rights, but it also damages economies. Plenty of business data and information and email are filtered along with search results and other published information. And what's worse is that individuals have started to self-censor. Due to fear of being filtered or censored, they're not going online, sharing information, or communicating amongst each other. This has major consequences for economic growth and innovation. This is a complex, if colorful, graph. It measures internet freedom horizontally and the level of education vertically. And you'll see here that the level of red indicates the more innovative the country, and blue and green, the less innovative countries. And the message is simple. The more open countries allow their internet to be, there's a strong predictor of education levels and innovative societies. And it's common sense. The web enables people to share information, to share ideas, and to start businesses in ways that were never possible. And research is showing just how good this is for business and economic growth. We know that small and medium-sized businesses that are online and use the internet export twice as much as those that don't. And the web, contrary to what you might think, actually creates jobs. It creates almost 3 jobs for every one that has been reduced due to productivity gains from technology. And most impressive are the gains outside of the high-tech sector. 3 out of every $4, or euro or yen, that the internet generates goes to a company that's outside of high-tech. Companies that manufacture things, companies that provide services, even farmers. The point here is that businesses that use the web tend to do much better and grow much faster. So for a room full of policymakers, political leaders, and advocates, the question is, how can the public sector benefit from the gains that the internet has brought the private sector? There are many ways of tackling this problem, but I would argue that it starts with smart partnerships, open platforms, and big ideas. I'll give you just one example. In the US, only 4 years ago, American citizens had difficulty finding basic information about their election: where to vote, who's on their ballot, when to cast their vote, and voter ID rules. Information existed, but it was often in file cabinets or hard to find online. Once we realized this, as a company that is passionate about organizing information, we asked how we could help. And so we partnered with a few states that grew to dozens of states, and now all states here in the US, to standardize all election information, along with civic organizations and advocates, to ensure that wherever voters went on their mobile device or to their local newspaper and even Google search engine, that they could easily find basic information about their electoral process. Once the data was organized in a standard way, it was unleashed for anyone to use and to innovate. And it wasn't just in the US where this idea took off. Once we'd built the basic platforms for distributing this information, other countries began to do the same. In last year's election in Nigeria, they organized their voting information, allowing our engineers to map it. Here's what it looks like. Every dot is a different polling place. And when you click on the dot, whether you're on your mobile phone or a laptop, you could see information about your polling place. The bottom line says, the polling location is under a mango tree in front of the residence of Mr. Simon Garba. With a smartphone or SMS, anyone could find this information and find the mango tree. And the mango tree is just the beginning. After that, in Turkey, the government and news organizations worked with 50,000 citizens to organize and publish election results in real time for the very first time. Anyone could use this information, including citizens, news agencies, or governments, to drill down and see in real time results from their district. The best part of this was that it wasn't just in Turkey where this application was used. It has since gone to dozens of countries, including Mexico's latest presidential election. And the idea goes far beyond voting information. Just last Tuesday, during the other political convention in Tampa, Hurricane Isaac hit the Gulf Coast. The storm caused over $1.5 billion in damage. I can't think of a time when sharing information and communicating between government and citizens is more important than during a disaster. And just like voting information, when the data is organized in a standard way, anyone can use and share the information immediately. This is a Google crisis map from Hurricane Isaac that our Google engineers on the crisis response team developed. Thankfully, many US emergency response organizations have partnered with Google to share their information in real time around disasters and crisis. On the map, you can see a few things: satellite storm radar, evacuation maps, road conditions, Red Cross shelters with real-time capacity status, and even live webcams that had cameras from the coast. The idea is powerful because it wasn't just the Gulf Coast where platforms like this can be used. Once they're developed for a single location, they can be shared anywhere. Our crisis response team coordinates across dozens of countries and offices and hundreds of government partners to ensure that preventative measures and reactive measures can be taken during disaster. Back to our original question. We know that the internet has been a tremendous tool for growing our economies and for unleashing innovation. But how can it help advance government and the public sector and strengthen society? Here are 4 suggestions. First, we should keep the web open. Citizens who can access and share information flourish, thrive, innovate, and share in ways that we could never imagine. Legislators need to preserve the open internet to enable this to continue. Second is to organize your information. Once information is standardized and applications are standardized, we can leverage each other's innovations much more easily. Third is to build partnerships. What we've seen is that when private sector, entrepreneurs, civil society, and governments work together, we can tackle big problems in ways that were never before possible. The capacity of an individual engineer to tackle a big problem is unforeseen. And the fourth is to be ambitious. At Google, we get excited about solving big problems at scale, and we get excited by governments that are trying to do the same. We've seen that the private sector has used the web to grow tremendously, and governments are just beginning to catch up. If we embrace these principles, we'll see citizens be more engaged, we'll see societies be more advanced and be more accountable, and we'll see governments and legislators that successfully connect with their citizens across the world. Thank you so much.